But that's something for another day. So, today we are going to be talking about the challenges and the opportunities. And one of the questions I get asked very often is like, what's the difference between data analytics, data science, all these terminologies? So, can you help us to answer like the difference between data analytics, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all those keywords?
Okay, yeah. So let me start with artificial intelligence, right? So artificial intelligence has actually been in existence since donkey years, and we've been using it, but we do not know if we've been using it. If you have a washing machine, it's part of artificial intelligence because it encompasses something called fuzzy logic, and so it's part of intelligence. So the idea of AI, yeah, I'm going to use AI right now for artificial intelligence, is more encompassing in terms of intelligent systems. And so so it's broad. Yeah, any system that can be termed as intelligent, that's where you can talk about artificial intelligence. Just use so that's the reason why I want to break it down so that you understand all these key different things. And so the machine learning side of it, you see, I'm coming from AI to machine learning, and that's how I'm going to go because it gives a broader overview of the differences. So the machine learning essentially is more about the learning system. So for you to be able to have intelligence, there needs to be a learning, right? And so the machine learning there is now the use of different algorithms and computational techniques to be able to like get that intelligence they're looking for. So truthfully, there's no, I mean, you have a lot of definitions and stuff, but I really, when trying to answer these questions, I don't like to use sort standard definitions. I just try to like bring it in a conceptual manner so that everyone understands like all these different aspects. So the AI is the bigger part of the big chart and everything. It's just centered around intelligence systems. It doesn't matter if it's the artificial intelligence, if it's the AI that we are seeing now, but we've been seeing quite a lot of intelligence systems in the past. And so the machine learning there now is the recent, idea about combining data and algorithms and building that intelligent systems, right? So that is where that's where the learning is coming from. So which means that you're developing algorithms to be able to make machines learn things. So and it's based on data. So think of it that way. And then the data science. So now the data science here now is this sort of like is a I don't want to call it a fancy word, but it's actually it's really more about the science involved when you're working with data, right? So the data science here now is more about using the machine learning algorithms to be able to like work on the data and and try to break down new things and all that. And so, but then the data analysis now is the, let me say, the foundation, right, of people working with data. So it's more in the analytic sense of view. It's more about analyzing, visualizing, trying to like. So if you are very good with working with Excel, Microsoft Excel, you're a data analyst, right? Though you're not a data scientist, but you're a data analyst. So because if you can be able to pick data and bring out information, make like cogent information out of it, yes, you're a data analyst. Now, the data scientist you're now applying algorithms, applying techniques and intuition, domain knowledge into that data, then you're now having data science. So, right. So that's where the science is coming in. Right. And so I don't know. I hope this really gives that bit of difference. So in data analytics, you work with a lot of tools. You can work with SQL, you can work with Python, which is not really compulsory. You can work with Power BI, you can work with Tableau. So it's just like picking that data, working with it, and visualizing it and telling a story out of it. Right. So that's where the data analytics come from. So, but I think over the course of the questions, we'll answer more about that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And also, so you've actually said that working with Excel is even data analysis. So
Yes.
the question is now like, how do I, but like most people want to become a data scientist in this time, like how can they become data scientists? Is there a pathway?
Yes. So maybe I should quickly do a quick poll. So how many, so let me say, who has a science background? Let me start with, like, does anyone have a science, maybe probably just a raise of hand or something, or say I on the chat. Or maybe you could just chat where you, what's your background in, right? So I want to have just an understanding. Like, so anyone could just chip in, chat in. Science background piece, okay. Anyone in science background? Mathematical science, okay. Oh, nice, yes. Okay. Biology, math, okay, yeah. Quite a lot of mathematicians, all right. Okay, now this is, I'm sitting well. Yes, so I think I'm gonna say you already have the basics. Trust me, you already have the basics to jump into data science, because truthfully, I'm excited right now because I'm seeing a lot of okay, I'm seeing biology, mathematicians, mathematical sciences. Because if you're in a mathematics, if you did your BSc and there's this ideology of ending up being a teacher or something, right? I'm also giving a talk very soon in UI, just to say that, oh no, you don't really, math is really the word right now. Math, physics, like those heavy competition. Now the reason is this: so the career path is very straightforward for mathematics students, because you already have the background, which is, you have backgrounds in probability, you have backgrounds in linear algebra, you have backgrounds in differential equations and all these things. So you will not be very strange to pick it up, right? However, for people in other field, like in because I said someone in biology, so you also have this, I believe, yeah, you also have this bit of experience as a data scientist. Now, it might not be really called data scientist in that sense of time, but if you work with data, it doesn't matter what kind of data, you're actually on that career path. So the reason why people begin to talk about data science right now is just because we talk about big data, there's a lot of data everywhere. So how do you make sense of it? How do you build something out of this stuff? So that's where we now have a niche called data science. But I think I'm going to say that whatever field you are, as long as you're working with data, you have a career path to data science. All you need to do is just to understand what are the concepts in data science, what are the terminologies, what are the things you can do that you can bring it to your field. For mathematics, well, you are actually working at the ground level in terms of the concepts and everything. So the career path is look at it this way. Learning all the tools, the Python, which is the programming language, SQL, which is where databases are being stored, and understanding those algorithms. Now you can actually get a position in data science with what you've done. So just think about how you can, just think of it as how you can be able to, gain skills and knowledge in all those tools that are being used. So one way to do that is take a look at a data science portfolio, like a job description. Just go online, search Google data science position, and look at the skills that are being itemized. Right, this is what I do sometimes. Right, I look at data engineering, for instance. I look at data science, and I see these skills. Okay, Python, they need skills in SQL, these skills in this. I write them out. Check another one. I write them out. Then you begin, when you tally all these skills, you begin to see which one is more prominent, right? And you just ensure that you focus on it. You learn that skill, and with that, when you can build something with those skills, it's very fair. But now in Nigeria, then maybe the question will now, probably the question that might arise is, how do you get out in Nigeria? So I'm going to say yes. Truthfully, Nigeria is really bit sluggish in terms of data science, but it's picking up. But then it's picking up from the data analytics part of you. That's where it's really picking up from, because we've not been able to get to that aspect of data science because there's not really been big projects or companies that are heavily working on it. There are, but it's not very common. So data analytics is actually quite common now. So I think I advise most people starting in this data field to start as a data analyst, so that you're able to you build yourself up, right? So as a data analyst, what are you learning? You're learning Power BI, you're learning Tableau, you're learning SQL, you're learning how to work with Excel, actually, please. Ensure you know how to work with Excel. So you're learning all these tools that are used in data analytics. So once you have that, build a portfolio in terms of, okay, I did a data analytics project on the data, put it out there, and begin to apply for data analyst position. From there, then you can step forward to improve more your skills. But then I mostly advise people to start, if you are interested in data field, start in the data analytics space so that you can gain ground level understanding of working with data or what to do with data, and then you move up from there. I think, yeah, I know there are lots of questions, so I hope that clarifies that part.
Yeah, I think it does. And you can also write your questions on the chat. Thank you so much. Then the next question is, for example, like you've talked about looking at portfolio, and then you see some people, their job description is like have SQL, Python, Scala. It's like even the hiring managers themselves don't even know who a data scientist should be. And then even for me as an individual, it's sort of overwhelming. So how do you advise people like coming up? How do they stay up to date with the challenges in the data science fair? Like, how do they pick up Python and say, okay, I've learned this to a reasonable extent, then I'm going to SQL, then I'm going to Kafka or whatsoever, like skill they need to learn?
Yeah. So I think everything is based on system. So I look at, so I'm learning a very new thing right now in my own field. I'm trying to learn data engineering. So now people have this sort of like, if you go online and search for roadmap to data science, you will see people, right, that actually do have, I'm going to keep check and search now if I can get one for data science. So they have a roadmap, right? And so when you think about all these people are saying a lot of things on job descriptions, just use that as an idea of what is being going on. But then don't let it overwhelm you. It's going to overwhelm you. It overwhelms me. So, and if right now I'm not applying for data science positions right now because of my PhD I'm doing, but I've been seeing quite a lot of job descriptions. I'm like, wow, what is really going on here? But I'm not perturbed. Why? Because I know I have the skills, and it's just for me to spend time to brush up my CV, put everything together, and begin to apply. But then, as starting out, what you need to do is to have this roadmap. So understand the roadmap, build system. Now, I think the key thing here, most recruiters want to learn is that, can you really learn? Do you know how to learn? Right. So it's not about picking if you want to do an online course, fine, but ensure that you start the online course and you finish it. I know some of you don't finish your online course, you start and it's like you just take an apple bite and drop it. It's common. But just try and see how to be able to have this working system where you start a course and you finish it. Then when you finish it, ensure that you're also adding it, you don't just do the course for doing sake. You are doing it to learn. It might take time. People that started data science, I've been in this field I started in 2015 and this is 2023. That's 8 years, right? So it's in stages, right? So for instance, when I say data analytics, I know what I'm saying, because with data analytics, you can actually be able to pick it up quickly. You can pick up all those tools that you can learn fast, build something out of it, and build a portfolio around that. Don't allow a lot of terminologies to overwhelm you. Ensure that you have a roadmap. So you can say, okay, within the space of 1 year, I want to have these skills, this skill, right? And have something to show for it. By the time you have something to show for it, it also gives you the motivation to move on to other skills. I think, so think about it that way, build systems around your learning, right? So that you can be able to don't just dabble into anything that is coming your way. Now there is generative AI and people are using ChatGPT to do stuff. Don't really be moved with that. Just try and understand the basics, drop it, build yourself with those basics and build on that. Then you will find a lot of things relatively easy. That would be my advice.
Thank you so much. So also, in terms of the challenges, for example, I remember doing my master's project in Nigeria and it was crazy. Like, you'd have to run models, and sometimes this thing takes like days to run. Then talk about you have a situation that there's no light. Like, it's crazy. So for me, these are the challenges, and I know for some other people, like even on this course, sometimes what people say is like they don't have a computer to even do stuff. So in your own career, as an individual, did you face such challenges, and like how can these problems be addressed? Like, problems with data connection, with, yeah.
Yes. So, good question. And I'm gonna say this. So I think one of the things I've heard people say out there, people outside of the country, when they hear about the challenges developers or tech people in Nigeria face, it's always a show of determination, grit, and that enthusiasm to be able to learn things. Now, the challenges of internet, the challenges of data connectivity, the challenges of power supply is constant every day in Nigeria. No, but there's no doubt about that, right? Now, I go back to this initial statement I make, build a system around it. Now, a system around it means, for instance, are you going to download YouTube videos when you have your YouTube? Sometimes when you buy data, you have like, I'm saying this because I know I've experienced it. Where you have like what do you call it, 3 gigabytes free YouTube data. I use that YouTube data and I use it to download. Yeah, that was a power outage just now. So you can use the those kind of free data to download YouTube videos, store on your laptop or phones, and just that you are settled for that course. Those are some of the challenges I face, and those are how I overcame them. Sometimes it's about so in university there was some particular part of UI where there is internet. I go there, I download all the movies I have. I had an hard disk then. I used to download quite a lot of stuff from YouTube, just download the videos and to watch later on. So I think it's about building systems around all those things. We have challenges. We can't dispute that. So the question would be, how do you want to do you have that how do I call it? Do you have that drive enough to be able to not just allow the challenges to overwhelm you, but build systems around it? I think that would be my advice. The challenges will always be there. Even it will always be there. Even if you have the money and the financial capacity to be buying, I have MTN MiFi. I have one on my phone. I have a SpectraNet MiFi. So even despite the fact that yes, I have the means to do all this, the challenges is still about connectivity. And what I did is to get all these things not to fail, right? So I think it's about building the challenges in Nigeria. It's Nigeria, right? So we just need to find a way to be able to get ourselves out of it, because it's for you. It's personal. You want to build your own career. You don't want something else to hinder you. So build systems around it, and you really find your way out of it. Trust me. I can guarantee you that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like, people really say this thing, and for me it's like, how much determination do you have? Like, the amount of determination you have determines like how you persevere. Like, I remember in school then, like sometimes things would be sort of difficult, for example, internet connection. And what I did was that I was making use of this MTN 15, was it 15 era or something like that, midnight stuff, data. So like, that's something you can do. You could subscribe for this midnight data, and then you would not sleep, but like, that's the price to pay. If you don't have a computer, you could ask someone to lend you a computer. So most times when I hear people making some of these complaints, I'm like, how much determination do you have? Some people just want to sit down and be like, they want everything to be good, but like, there are challenges every day. So you have to motivate yourself and think and be like, how can I make this done or get this done? So you've also mentioned that you have, or you still have challenges, that's in terms of the Nigerian factor. But now in terms of your career, like what are the challenges you encounter in your career? And like I believe that this is something that upcoming data scientists would encounter as well. So like what are the challenges and how can one navigate through it?
Yeah, good. Good question. So one of the challenges I faced personally is about so when we started, there was no, you hardly find a community as this. Now you see Ifeoma started data science Nigeria, data science Kaduna. So there was in that when I started, there was this something called data science Nigeria. And I think but it was in Lagos. I'm not in Lagos, I'm in Ibadan, right? So I I face the challenge of community. I face the challenge of so I also have this background in maths. I have this background in software engineering. So I have all these different skills. But then one of the things was drafting how do I call it? Like be able to putting all these things together, having people within that same level of knowledge, right? And be able to like brainstorm things together. So those are the things I faced. And that is why one of the reasons why I actually applied for AMI, which is the Master's Intelligence program that I did, because I know that this is going to be people with the same knowledge, and it is the best, it has actually been my best degree so far, because you have people coming up with ideas. I can tell you, we've built ideas, we built something similar to ChatGPT before, just because we're a community of people with like skills and the same level. So what you have now, I think one of the best things you can do is to ensure make best use of this community you have right now. Practice together, learn together, make calls together to just talk about things, right? And you begin to have ideas, right? And so people that are making it right now in the data science field right now in Nigeria, you will see them, they started together. You see a group of people, they're always in the same thing in competitions. They're always tweeting at each other and always talking to each other because they know themselves, right? And so that's the challenge I face, and I think it's being solved right now, because now we are building based on community. Mine is based on just, yeah, we have a degree. So I think you should be able to build around that. So that's one challenge. And I think another challenge there was I do not have money. I was really broke. So there are a lot of ideas I had that I wanted to pursue, but then I did not have money to, look to build projects myself. So yeah, that one, but I don't know how you will solve that one, because it's until you get a job before you can have money, then before you have money to also do other things. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, someone asked a question in the chat. What inspired you into the data science field? What inspired me? Yeah. I'm sorry, money. Wait, now, let me explain. So I did mathematical science in UI, pure math. It's pure math. The master's degree in UI is pure math. You just have a little bit of applied maths, right? And so one of the things I remember then was everyone was really looking to become a professor, to become a lecturer, to become a teacher. And in my head, I'm like, this cannot be the end of my life. All right. So I think there was a person that really mentored me to tech. And so I started doing software engineering. I was doing Androids, building Android applications. Until then, I got to know about data science, and they call data science. So I'm not from a very rich family, so I'm also looking for how to make money myself. And then I saw a job board that says data science is the highest paid. It was the highest paid, right? Globally. I'm like, oh, okay, what is data science? Then I started looking at it. So that's how I got to data science. Right. That was how I started. I'm being let's be factual. Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Jerry, is this what you are going to write in your SOP?
No, so I don't write. Of course, I don't say money when I'm writing statement. I don't write money when I'm writing statement of purpose. I cook up something, say yes, I'm passionate about applying data science into blah blah blah. But truthfully, I started data science because it was highly paid. Trust me, data science. So if you look at US right now, entry level data science is about $100,000 per year, upward base, right? That's US, of course. So when you now begin to say, yeah, people make it 250, 2,000, 200, you'd be like, I can do it. I'm not going to that stage. I'm still looking forward to get to that stage. But I'm just telling you that this is how I got into data science. I saw that the money was there. And then, luckily for me, I had a background in maths. The mathematics and the linear algebra and the probability was not strange to me, right? So that was also an additional, consolation that, okay, finally I have something that I can apply my maths in. So I should not just say that I did 4 years maths and then I forget about everything. So that's one consolation. But yeah, I started with money. And I stayed with passion.
Are you sure? Okay, but yeah, like what yeah, also reason something people actually usually ask is like, do I need mathematics? Because if you look at these people really doing tech and developing this high AI stuff, they don't have any background in mathematics. So how much mathematics do I need to know to be able to do data science very well?
Okay, so I'm going to say this just with a how do I put it? Yes, money begets passion. Exactly. I'm going to say this just just to make people understand something that a lot of people are in tech, but tech is not just really based on maths. It's based on coding. Of course, you can argue that coding is essentially maths, but we are now in a world where a lot of things has been like there is a lot of they've abstract a lot of things. So we are not the people there are not saying the maths part. But then if you do maths, so if you do a PhD maths there's something they call quant finance, you will be one of the highest paid even among the data scientists. Right. So maths is everywhere. But then the question is, how open are you to see the relevance into what you're doing? So for instance, in data science, people say, you don't need maths to do data science? Well, at some point you will come back to it. That's what I don't argue with people when they say it's too much maths. Yes, I know it can be too much maths, but at some point you really like it. Now I know people in data science in like within the Nigeria space that initially they were not interested in learning all the maths. They just wanted to do the code and everything. Now they are having a group like as this just to study maths. Right. So don't think too much of it. At the same time, don't abandon it. Just ensure you have it as a tool. Now, there are a lot of resources out there. There are a lot of YouTube videos on most of the mathematics concept that in fact, I can say right now, like mathematicians should not just be proud of themselves that they have maths, because anyone can pick all the maths in data science and learn, and they will learn it very well. Right? You just have your mind has already been softened because you've seen a lot of maths in your life, right? So you will not be too moved when people begin to talk about maths and data science. But at the same time, for people that do not have this background in maths, don't overcomplicate things yourself. Learn at the pace that you feel you can. So you can do data science without having knowledge of the core maths, but it just helps you to have an intuition. It just helps you it just builds your skills tool. It just gives you that edge to understand what goes on behind the scene. So in summary, don't think too much about the maths parts of data science, and at the same time, don't just abandon it. Try and strike a balance, right? And I think that's what I'll say to that.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think this is the best answer I've heard so far. And with the way you could get access to information right now is really not a big deal. You just need, like, I think it's life in general that you persevere and try to like close up the gaps you have in whatever you are doing. So in Nigeria right now, we've talked about challenges with data, connection, electricity, and other things. But do you think that data science is important in Nigeria at the moment? Like, do you think there are applications in Nigeria?
Yes, and yes, and yes, and yes, and yes.
Okay.
Now, so the interesting thing, since last year, now there's been a lot of interest. I've been seeing quite a lot of companies now looking for data scientists. Now, not data analysts, data analysis is progressing up. So likewise, some companies are now understanding the need for data science. So yes, every field right now is working with data. And now so businesses are beginning to realize that with the informations and data available to them, they can either improve their operations, they can make more money when they understand what goes on with their data. And so now they will now look for data scientists to be able to help them to figure things out. Now, this is where it differs from software engineering, because now it's like you have a big load of data. Wherever the data could be comments on your YouTube post, the data could be just transactions. I know a company that is a startup that is just specifically focusing on analyzing your SMS transaction. You know, when you make a transaction and you get the SMS. Some people are just working on that kind of data, right? Just to make profits. And for instance, in that case now, they can try to understand, maybe most of their users are paying money for the particular product, and then they could decide to partner with those people. So there's a lot of things they can just come about when they have more information about the data. So yes, it's really, 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 really applied in Nigeria. And I know a lot of people now, not a lot, but quite a number of people businesses are getting into that data space. There's an event coming soon in Lagos, probably next week. Yes, next week. It's from Blue Chip and it's on data. This is the first time I'll be hearing a company specifically organizing a conference around data. It's very rare. I've not heard about it in Nigeria, but right now a company, the Blue Chip Technologies, just decided to organize a data conference, right? So just to show to you that people are beginning to see the reality. So yes, it's actually been applied now.
Yeah, thank you so much. So as a follow-up to that, like you actually mentioned that you went for your master's outside because you wanted to have some kind of collaboration or something like that. So how can young people get these international collaborations? For example, they want to travel out or they want to school out or something like that.
Yes. Okay, so this is a very valid question. And I think one of the things I would say is be available. No. Be open to informations. So how long? Also, disclaimer: most of the positions I get or everything are based on things I saw on YouTube, on Twitter. That's why I'm never leaving Twitter. For me, or X, whatever they call themselves now. I'm not, or LinkedIn, yes, you get a lot of information. So people will just tweet something, so people will just say something, I'm looking for something. So those are where you will see, those are where you get a lot to say, a lot of opportunities. Follow people, sure. But so then how do you now get these people to work with you or to sponsor you? So one of the things I know for sure is that, what value do you want to create? So if someone want to collaborate with you from outside the country, they will need to know that you have value, right? And so first you need to show that you have value in that field, right? So we're able to show the value that you need to build yourself. So for opportunities to start, and I think this is where it gets tricky, because we are not in a country where people can readily give you job based on just giving you a job because there's nobody to fill the space. No. A lot of people are doing data science, so it's competitive. So now, how do you stand out? So then that is where the question will now be. To gain opportunities, you need to be able to stand out, right? And so to stand out, then you need to you build your skills and you can show your skills. So showing your skills now, it's another question, which I don't know let me just answer that now. So one, you can build a portfolio. You can build a portfolio with GitHub page, just to maybe a data visualization project or a data science project that you can do. Number two, join the competition. So join data competitions. So I don't know, let me see if I can just share. No. I'm trying everyone. Okay. So I'm just gonna post stuff. There's Kaggle, there is Zindi. So these two, they are one of the top. The Zindi is mainly focusing to Africa, but the Kaggu is really more global and general. So look at what people are doing. Request to work with them, just to collaborate with them and do projects together. This adds to your portfolio, because when you're able to work with people, it shows that you can work in a team. It shows that you can look at a data science problem and you begin to solve. So all these platforms are competition based. They also have some learning based. You can learn there, collaborate with people there. And so with time, you are building yourself to be able to have access to more opportunities. Of course, you can go for a master's program, but I believe in the data space, one of the best way, I can say this assuredly, one of the best way to get yourself out there is to begin to join these competitions on this platform. If you can win some, good. If you don't, it's fine, but try to learn a lot, right? So when you join competitions, over time, you get to improve yourself. And it's everyone that I know that has won competition in this Kaggu or Zedi, they don't find it difficult. It's never difficult for them to get a job. They just tell them that I won this competition. And when they look at the competition, they say that 1 out of 100, 150 people, you are the winner. They will hire you immediately, right? You get what I'm saying? So these are some of like no-brainer ideas that people use. Join these platforms. I know there are more out there. I think there's also one, drivendata.org. Yeah, so there are quite a lot of things. So I think this is one way where you can be able to like build your skills and also gain access to international opportunities. And of course, staying on social media, connecting with people, attending conferences, and just code emailing people. For instance, someone can code email me and say, oh, I have this project. If I have the time, I can join them and say, oh yes, fine. If not, I can refer them to another person. So those are ways and approaches.
Thank you so much. So I think for those that have questions, you could drop it on the chat, or you could raise your hand and also speak.
Okay. I think there's a question come out then. So during the just concluded project I had in data science Kaduna, I discovered DAX. Okay, now I'm just hearing DAX. Let me go.
It's actually from Power BI, the course we did. Maybe Mark, the instructor, is on the call. Mark, can you answer the question? This person is asking, how can someone go around it and be... Can you please tell us how someone can go around it in a way that it won't be huge on someone?
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So first of all, right, you need to understand that that is actually huge. So what that means is that the learning curve is a bit steep, right? So I can actually tell you that I am also in the learning process. So it's not a straightforward language, right? Let me call it language. So it's something that you learn progressively over time, right? So through consistency. The only approach I can advise is on YouTube, you can find simplified tutorials on DAX where it begins with the fundamentals, right? And then from the fundamentals, you can actually grow into writing complex DAX formulas or language, right? So that's basically the idea. But I think I've said this, that you can be a Power BI data analyst without knowing so much of DAX, right? So fundamental functions in DAX that are very useful are things like count rows, counts. What else did we use the other time? There's sum. There is, you can basically do basic mathematical operations that you are used to on DAX. Those ones also count. So these are the fundamentals. You can do additions of columns. You can do subtraction of columns, multiplication, division. You can do profit analysis. You can do calculation of totals that we did the other time. And you can do so many other things, right? So for people that have the fundamental of maths and the fundamental operations, you can carry over this understanding or logic into DAX, right? But like I said, you have to start it gradually and grow into writing more complex DAX formula, right? But this does not mean that you are not a Power BI data analyst, right? So you can get a job without knowing so much of DAX. I will advise you to be familiar with the basic DAX, fundamental DAX, right? But the other aspects which are quite easier, which you will always be using the UI to do cleaning and transformation, ensure that you grab that aspect a lot, right? If that is an issue, give yourself time and learn it gradually with consistency. But the other aspect where you use UI, that's basically the interface. That's Power Query now to do your cleaning and transformation. Ensure that you perfect and master that aspect, right? So don't look at it that if you don't know that, you are incomplete, right? If you master the other aspect, right, mastering it alone will make you be able to impress any potential employer. So the employer will not go as far as asking you, DAX, even if he sees that your knowledge on DAX is not so much. He won't look at you like someone that is incompetent, because obviously you have demonstrated mastery on one other aspect. Actually, you can't know it all, right? So give yourself time. Give yourself 1 year in this career path. Give yourself 2 years. Give yourself 3 years. Give yourself up to 5 years. You need time. Don't be in a haste. You need time, but ensure that you're consistent. I think that's the much I have to say.
Thank you so much, Mark. Yeah, you need time. I think our generation, we are in a hurry to do things very quickly. So lastly, Jeremiah, like most of the people here on this call are like mostly data science enthusiasts, and as well as like, in fact, for some people, I think one person, he was like, this was his first project on data science, Power BI. Like, what do you advise them? How do they go from here?
Yeah. So I think going from there, it's so one, be sure you know what you learn. How do I explain this better? So you've done a project, right? Now, if I ask you in 2 minutes, can you explain your project to me? Right? Because one of the things people, recruiters, I mean, I know I've recruited for some company, data scientists, and one of the things I'm just interested in saying, I don't need to know if you've learned all the languages or whatever. I want to be able to know that, okay, if I give you a project, you know how to start from, you know where to end, you know what you did, and you know where you contributed. Like, you have it at the back of your mind, and you know the skills you developed. I know that, okay, which means you really know how to learn, right? So how do you go from there is first ensure that you know what you did, right? Be proud of it and build on it. For instance, so I don't know much about the project you did, but whatever project you've done, also ensure that you share it. If you don't have a LinkedIn page, create one before the end of today. I'm not commanding, but it's the truth. Create one, have a LinkedIn page, post it, share it, tag people, tag all your colleagues here, right? You to share whatever people have done. Once someone tags me, or I see something that is very interesting, I reshare, because it's not just about me, it's also about building that community, right? So I share it. It also gives you that adrenaline to do more. When people where you get comments about you. So you start from there. I think it's a very good approach to be consistent with everything you're doing. So whatever project you did, if you are very sure of it and you build the skills around it, look for the one you can build on that, right? So maybe to add additional skills to it and go up from there. Just keep doing it, keep sharing it. Trust me, with one time, people will begin to take notice of you, that, and it's that consistency that people really do want to see, that you not just do something and abandon it. So build that, keep doing it. Trust me, keep doing it, and ensure that you know how to talk about it, and then you will see people reaching out to you individually without. So yeah, consistency is actually the key.
Yeah, thank you so much for this advice. Emmanuel Andrew, his hand is up. Do you have a question?
Okay.
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for providing us with the platform to learn and improve ourselves. Okay, I was part of those that went for the Power BI project, and that was my first time on learning anything that has to do with Power BI. So, one of the things that I have decided to do is to go on Kaggle and get as much as possible the data sets that I can be using for practicing. However, one challenge that I'm having is now that I have the data, how do I really mix? So I don't know. I want to know if there are ways anyone who is intending to learn or to practice, what relationship or what kind of visualization that will make sense for people to for those that are viewing the work that you are doing to know. I know sometimes if you have projects, it might come with a specification, but while practicing on your own, are there ways that you could get inspiration to do what you want to do? So I want you to comment on that. And also, I am also doing some project in Power BI. I enrolled for the data science lab with WorldCant University. So one of the challenges that I'm having is the bulk of the information that is coming to me. So how do I make sense of all of those information? Yes. So I would like you also to comment on that. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so let me start with the first one before I forget it. So yeah, if you have data sets from Kaggle, and then if I get it correctly, like how do you start, right? How do you start working with it? So I think build on the shoulders of people that have done something on that data set before. For instance, let's say you downloaded the data set about wine price, how do they call it? Like the price of wine prediction, and you downloaded the data set and stuff. Somebody has worked on it before. Look at what they've done. Like, I liked the things they've done, and you do it, right? So for me, when I started, I joined a lot of things, and I have a lot of notebooks, because I look at what they've done. I try to do it on my own. Not only am I improving myself, I'm also learning about how people think about it in this field, right? So, because trust me, you can't just say, okay, I have data set, and then you start thinking about it. You need to have built up ideas of what you do when you first have the data, right? And you will get that on all these platforms like Kaggle. So look at what they've done. So I know Kaggle has something where you can fork a notebook and then you can edit it. Look at it, edit it. This is where I'll also get a point now. Look at it, ensure that you understand what the person did. Ensure so don't try and bring in your own ideas for now. When you're starting, don't bring in your own ideas. Build on what they've done, right? Read it, understand it, like ensure that you know what they've done. Look at other work as well. See if you can now bring their own work to what you've learned. So now you're not just I'm going to say copy and paste in a way, yes, But the idea is that people have worked on these things. You will see when you look at a Kaggle competition, a Kaggle data set, you will see hundreds of notebooks that people have shared. Look at it, try and understand what they've done. Write it down. This is how I mentor my data science people that mentor data science. I pick a project. I say, okay, look at it, see what they've done. Write all their steps out, all the steps they took. Write it out. Look at another one. Can you bring one of their steps? Can you add it to your own workflow? See how does it improve your work, right? Build on everything like that. Now, the interesting thing now is how people share their work now. Yes, you may not have a website or everything. So you copied. Remember, you copied the workflow of somebody. Can you also now share your own? Right, that people can now look at it. You will see people will comment on it and ask you questions. Don't be, you're a beginner. It's going to show on your profile that you're a beginner. People can also give you advice on what to do. I think so. When you build in that kind of community, you are gaining skills and you're also exposing yourself to more opportunities. Right. So I think that would be my idea about that. Then the other, I hope that clarifies that. The other one of bulk of information. There will always be information overload. There's always going to be information overload. If I'm very, very bad. I don't like sharing when someone asks for resources. I'm like, okay, I don't know what I can share to you, because if I can share a website that has thousands of resources, yes, on deep learning, I can share a lot. But now the question is, what do you want to learn? What do you want to gain at this particular stage? So for example, I know most of you right now are doing Power BI. There's a lot of resources on Power BI. There's information overload. But what concept do you want to learn in Power BI? Understand that concept very well. Move on to another concept. That's why I say you should have a roadmap, have a system, right? It helps you cut across. There will always be information overload. Any field, doesn't matter. Even if you start doing deep learning, there's facts. Maybe you should not even do deep learning, but there will always be information overload in that, as in everything. So it's about you having a system to just focus on one key concept at a time and keep building and then be consistent with it. Trust me, consistency is the most important thing in any field, actually, and gaining opportunities. Consistency is it. So don't allow information overload to sidetrack you. You're learning DAX and then you move to something else. Try and be consistent with whatever you've learned. Ensure you build on it and you know it well, then move on to the next stage. I think that would be my advice. I hope my response really gives you a good head start.
Yeah, yes, thank you so much. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad to.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we are coming to the end, but before that, we have some people who want to say a few words. First on my list is Rose. I don't know if you are ready. Would you like to say what you learned or something like that? And if you can put on your camera, that would be nice too, but if you cannot, that's fine.
It's dark. I don't think I can put on my camera. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, can you hear me, please?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can
yes.
hear you. Good evening.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Rose Danjuma. I started my master's in 2020 in CASU, but Nigerian Factor I just concluded this year, last month actually, and it's in mathematical science.
Congratulations.
I would thank you very much. I would never want to school in Nigeria again after this. So that's by the way. Anyways, I want to say thank you to Ifoma. I think I met Ifoma in my supervisor's office one time. I don't know if she knows that it's me, but I'm sure saying it now, she might remember. And then he told me about her because she was a student during BSc. So he told me that she had to go to, is it Senegal, I think? AIMS Senegal to do a data science course. And when she was in the office, she was saying she wanted, because he was asking why she didn't further with mathematics. And then she said she needed to apply what she learned already, you know, we're just doing mathematics. Okay, how do we apply this thing? Do you want to end up being a teacher, as we all know? So of course, from there, I didn't even care. You know how you're a math student, you don't even care about any other thing. You don't want to learn any other thing. Let me just focus on this solving and, you know, just keep it going. But I'm learning to be open-minded. I think that was why I joined. When I saw this link, I just thought, okay, it is time. You know, be open-minded, learn as much as you can. Even if you're not interested, just learn. You don't know what you would get to achieve from it at the end of the day, and you don't know when you might need to apply this thing later. You know, because I've always been the mathematical model person. Like, let's apply this thing to the real world. You know, let's not just do it and just say it like pure mathematicians would do. So seeing data science and how it's been applied, it's been very interesting. So I'm saying thank you so much to Ifoma, because I can't even believe I was able to do this. I was able to do this project because this is my first time, you know, and thanks to Mark, to very good tutor, if I'm allowed to say that, because each time I'm trying to do something, I have to go back again, rewind the video. Oh, okay. As he's saying it and doing it, I'm doing it too. So it's like, wow, having somebody like a fellow Nigerian. You know, we have a lot of videos on YouTube, of course, we know that, but I don't know, it's not relatable. I didn't understand what they were doing until Mark came up. So I would love to say thank you to Mark, thank you to Ifoma. Because of them, I'm able to, you know, download data set. In fact, I know sometimes now, how cool, download data set from Kaggle, you know, load, transform. Oh my God, I forgot this part. I couldn't get Power BI. I think I texted one time on here, and then I had to download Parallel, Window, whatever. And then after a while, they said it was going to expire. And I'm like, how am I supposed to do this project? Because I really wanted to. The first one I couldn't finish with them. I didn't do the project with them. So this was like a second chance, you know. So I had to send HP down to do this thing, to tell you how dedicated I was. I didn't want to give up on it or anything. So my first project, I don't know how the thing erased. I had to do it again. So you see how far, you know, like this project really pushed me, and I can't say anything but it's just gratitude. Really pushed me beyond my limits, and I am very grateful for that. I think that's what I can say. Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, Rose, I remember you very well. She bought me lunch, so why shouldn't I remember you? Yeah. So, nice to hear that you learned a lot from the project, and that's actually what gives me joy. Like, I called Mark today and I was so excited, and I was like, "Hey, Mark, I'm very happy. People did so much." And probably I would do a slideshow of you people's presentation. Like, I was amazed because it was the first time you were doing this, and people, like, I could see a lot of effort into what you people did. So it was great. Um, the next person is Joshua. 2 to 3 minutes, please, if you have something to say.
Oh, okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Joshua Azazel Samson. I studied mathematics at Kaduna State University, and currently I'm a serving corps member at Borno State. Yes. I really would love to say a very big thank you to Ms. Ifoma for this great opportunity, and to the able facilitator, Mr. Mark. I truly am extremely grateful because I'm passionate about this, learning Power BI, everything regarding data science, but I never really gave it a big shot. Not until I think it was Kaza or someone that sent me that link. Yeah, so thank you to Kaza as well. For the Power BI class, it was really amazing. I learned a whole lot. First, I learned how to install the Power BI, and I know that BI means business intelligence. I learned about Power BI, the meaning itself, and how important it is to businesses, how you collect, you analyze, and you transform data into a readable data, because most times your data has inconsistencies, and how you import it, the various sources of getting data, ranging from your Excel to SQL and all that. I'm still learning, please, so you pardon my vocabularies. And Likewise, some other the ribbons and other gateways inside the ribbons, talking about your table view, your model view, and all that, talking about visualizations, your filters, and creating a cleaning of your data. Yes, with the help of the Power Query, if I'm not mistaken. And I've also learned how to use certain visuals and how appropriate to use them, because there are some visuals that are suitable for trying to give insight. There are some that are not really suitable. There are some that definitions to what you need to do or what you need to show. And sincerely, I'm still in the process of learning more. But from the basics, it truly has done more than enough. And I'm extremely grateful. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ifoma. And a big shout out to Rose. In the course of this project, she really helped me out. Rose Danjuma, yes. Thank you so very much. I just hope you remember. And just thank you to everyone and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay, Joshua wanted to
Yes.
start giving us a new course on Power BI. And I'm me, so don't say Mrs. before people that want to get married.
I said, did I say Mrs.? My apologies, please.
Yeah, that's fine. So the
Yes,
next
thank
person
you.
is
That was a prophecy.
yeah. The next person is Manasseh. You want to say something? Is Manasseh on the call? Okay, I think he's not on the call. Okay, so great so far. Kamaldeen, you want to say something?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. My name is Kamaldeen, and I would love to appreciate everyone and the instructor for tonight's program. So I just want to ask a few questions. And currently, I'm a website developer, and I've been on it for over 2 years now. But then you can't be a professional in websites because it keeps upgrading every hour of the day. So I'm trying to ask, I'm a newbie in data science. I just started learning data science a few months back, let's say 5 months back. And when I saw this project, the link to this project, I was very happy. So I decided to go into it. And to be sincere, I learned a lot. At least I was able to have an upgrade in the field, despite it was just Power BI alone. So what I want to ask is, I'm really having a problem in balancing my time because I still can't do away with my web development and I want to go into data science. So I am asking if the instructor can at least talk just 1 or 2 minutes on how I can be able to balance this time, how I can be able to work on my time and taking these two professionals together, data science and web development. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me quickly jump on that to the response. I think yeah, my response would be to simply build a system around it. So one system you can build is, so yeah, doing two tips. There's this thing called is it 5-hour rule? Something. So for instance, can you dedicate 1 hour per day just to learn data science? 1 hour per day for 5 days. As I said, consistency again, right? So if you can do that, you'll be shocked of how much you can learn. Oh, by the way, I do that for my PhD as well, right? I'm doing PhD and I do that. Like I ensure 1 hour in a 1 hour in a day, I ensure that I want to achieve something within that 1 hour, right? And then when you see, when it compounds over time, you discover that you learn something. So I think that will be that's going to be my response to be able to balance this two things. So for instance, if let's say you have a job or something that you're doing that might not allow you to focus on this other thing, create a system, and one of the system could be 1 hour. Is it going to be, so this 1 hour means it's 1 hour. Nobody's disturbing you. It's your time, right? when you focus in and you're consistent for it for like every day, and if you are working 5 days, or if you want to do it 5 days in a week, that's fine. If it's a project you want to do, can you be consistent 1 hour every day? Just start, do it for that 1 hour. If you close up, continue the second day with another 1 hour. It could be 2 for you, but I'll just give you an instance of how to build something around, how to work around that. You will just have to create a system that works for you and be consistent with it.
Let me just add a little, right? So I will advise you to, so web design, or let me call it software engineering, it is a field like data science and software engineering are 2 fields that can marry each other, right? So you can basically marry the 2 fields, and it gives you an edge, right? It's an extra skills that makes you stand out if you enter into the data science field. So there is part of data science that has to do with deployment of models. I think that aspect you will require knowledge of software engineering or web development. Also, when you come to data engineering, software engineering skills are also required in data engineering, right? So you can see that your knowledge or skills in web design is going to give you an edge, right? So like our brother just spoke, you have to be consistent and you have to give time to both fields. Please don't put down any of those fields. You can actually learn them together at the same time and actually make significant progress, right? It actually gives you an edge, right? So I don't have software engineering skills. So if you come into data science, you have data science knowledge, significant amount of knowledge and skills, and you have software engineering as well, right? So someone like me who doesn't have software engineering, it is very likely you can have an edge over me in the labor market or in the employment sector. You get, so that is something you should not put aside, right? Yeah. So I will encourage you to be consistent and learn the 2 together and keep going with it like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Kaza has his hand up, but we are we are a bit out of time. So please, Kaza, can you just say what you have to say in just a minute, please? We need to round up.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
All right. What I just wanted to say is not much. I just want to really appreciate this opportunity being given to us. Truly, for me as a person, I do not take it for granted. And I want to really appreciate my sister, Informa. Indeed, she's a great motivation to my interest into data science actually is because of her. And I really want to appreciate her effort and her commitment to see that she helped 1 or 2 person in this career. And I want to really appreciate also the facilitators that has been taking us all through this trajectory. I really appreciate you all for your commitment. Indeed, I'm so glad and so happy to see your commitment in human development. I do not really take it for granted. I really appreciate you all. And it is our sincere prayer that God help us and really help us even in our current challenges. Help us to really get a ground in this field. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you.
Okay, now to the close of today, we have certificates that we want to award, certificates of participation, and also some people that did very well. Like overall, people did very well, but some people did very, very well. So this is certificate of completion to Emmanuel Andrew. I don't know if he's here. Congratulations for making it to the end. And Danjuma Rose, she was the only woman that finished the course, which was so nice. I don't know why, like this is the second time this happening. Even in the last course, there was no lady that finished or completed it, but she stayed through to the end. That's good. And then Israel, congratulations. Joshua Zazao Samson, congratulations. Kaza Emmanuel, congratulations. Manasseh, congratulations. Sanusi, congratulations. So,
Listen, this one isn't you.
who is talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Manasseh came second position in the Power BI course, and his award, he'll be giving data and it will be sent to him appropriately. Like, he did a really good job. And this is also to say, like, if I release the scores, you actually find out that the scores are very, very close. Like, it was like people were practically fighting to be first. So we are only awarding to the first two people, awarding prizes to the first two people, but everyone that submitted did a really good job. So congratulations, Manasseh Ibrahim. And the first position is the first position. The first position is Israel. Congratulations to him as well. And that's all we have. So congratulations to everybody. And we just hope that this will serve as a motivation to all of you, and the prizes will be given to you and communicated to you in due course. So this to say thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, Matt. Yeah.
Let me just give my final words. So I'm actually very impressed. I to be honest, I didn't know you guys took it serious like this. When Informa called me, I was so shocked. Like, you get so but meanwhile, what I just want to say is that in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years, I want to still see you doing Power BI, right? Don't pick it up and dump it. Probably because in the journey you lost motivation, right? So you're actually going to lose motivation, but please always find your feedback. The good thing about this is that in the next, kindly picture yourself in the next 5 years. If you are consistent every day, like our guest said, if you put in 1 hour every day. I used to put in 2 hours consistently. When I started my data science journey, at some point I was putting in 2 hours every day, an average of 2 hours every day for 10 months. That was how fast and aggressive I was learning. So give yourself, I'm not saying you must do 2 hours, do the much you can based on the resources that are available to you, but don't stop, even if things don't seem to be adding up, right? So put in the hours, improve, grow in your learning. You can always improve your visualization. You can always improve your analysis. You can grow from simple to complex analysis. Even in your visualization, you can grow in the way you detail your analysis, in the way you detail your plot and relationships and all of that. You can also improve in the way you communicate your insights to stakeholders, or to, let's say you are doing an interview, study, make yourself valuable, and improve yourself in such a way that when people hear you speak about Power BI, they'll be very impressed. That's how you can come up, that's how you'll be very visible. And it's easier to get a job. It's easier, you can get remote jobs, you can leave the country. So many good things can happen to you. But I want to see you doing this in the next 5 years, because this is going to be a waste if you drop it after the next 2 or 3 months or next 1 year, right? So keep it going. Take this as the only thing you have, right? That was how I did, right? I was speaking to my friend a software engineer. So when he started software engineering, what he said, the philosophy he had that kept him moving was that he told himself that software engineering is the only thing he has in this world. That's his only saving grace, right? Look at it like that. I'm not saying that is all you have, but give it that kind of perspective. It really will help you in putting a lot of energy and effort, right? Above all, collaborate. Put yourself out there. Show your work on social media, LinkedIn. Continuously apply for jobs, try interviews, connect with people you think that know more than you. Connect with them, speak with them, ask them questions, collaborate. Sometimes some jobs you get are through recommendation, but these people that will give you recommendation, you need to have a relationship with them. So go on LinkedIn, send inboxes to people. When you are writing them, write them impressively, right? So that they will see that this person is really going somewhere, all of that. So keep pushing, right? The sky is your starting point. I wish you all well. I'm really happy, and I'm happy to, I also want to say thank you to Ifeoma. She has been the backbone of this program. I really wish her all the best and everyone. So thank you. Enjoy.
Okay, felicitations, Suleiman. Okay, we'll be coming to a close now, and we'll continue our conversations on the group chat. Jerry, I'm very, very grateful. Thank you so much for taking out time to speak with us today. I'm very grateful. Yeah. Thank you, Mark, for your time and everything. And thanks to everyone that participated in the program. Have a great weekend. See you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.